I was a fraud. I was a fraud for many years. I was smiling and pretending I was happily married. My life looked good from the outside. Well, deep inside, I was dead. I was numb. I was stuck. Stuck in the past, stuck in the guilt, stuck in the shame. We talk a lot about statistics of divorce, but how about the statistics of unhappiness, unfulfillment, and misery? A dead marriage is equally shocking as divorce. A dead marriage is surviving like a zombie. I found myself in a vicious circle, blaming him, self-pity, powerless to change the situation. Finding excuses not to make any changes, blaming him again, self-pity again. Oh, I'm doing this for kids. Or what other people going to say? Oh, all the ways to escape from the truth, to be honest with yourself. Misery needs company. So a bottle of wine and a chocolate can be such a great companion at a self-pity party, such a great way to escape from the realities. It doesn't feel good, but looks good from the outside. Extremely unhappy, I didn't leave him. For many reasons, I could not leave him. Just remembering my mother's face is enough. When I asked her advice if I should consider divorce, she was shocked. Why? You have such a good life. My mother was horrified and was begging me not to. Older people, they don't know better. They just know their own fears very well. So I stayed. And I started hating myself, guilting myself, not respecting myself for being weak, for being a fraud. And it's hard to love yourself when you are a fraud. And not loving myself was the most brutal, the most cruel prison I lived inside me. Your life, your happiness is your responsibility. As long as we're stuck on whose fault it is, we are trapped in suffering, and the road to power is in taking responsibility. Responsibility comes from the Latin. Responsus means to respond, to act on. I wanted my life back, I had to act. I had to take responsibilities for my mistakes. Yes, he screwed up. Yes, I screwed up. You need two people for tango. And it's not about how much forgiveness they deserve. It's about how much freedom you want to have. And then I remember that forgiveness starts with you. So I made a decision to have a ritual, a new ritual in my life. Every day in the shower, I would say, I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. 100 times, every day, every week, every month, until I felt light and I felt free. And then I had different ritual. Every day in the shower, I said, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. And one day, I felt alive again, and I felt free, and I felt happy. Some people live 90 years, and some people live 1 year 90 times. They don't know what to do with their life, so they keep doing the same thing over and over again. The same year, over and over again. I get it, change can be scary. Most people are afraid of change. But we resist change because we know, at some level, we know it will require first to get honest with yourself. We contemplate, we hold back, we settle. But there will be changes in life, always. Yet, people don't change when they see the light. They change when they feel the heat. For me, those news about my aunt's breast cancer, that was a wake-up call for me. That was a time to get honest with myself. And it takes commitment to put yourself first. It takes courage to ask yourself hard questions, confronting the truth. So I left him. I filed for divorce. And it was easier for me to stay and have this comfortable life that looked good from the outside. House at the beach, never worry about the bills. Everything was taken care of by my then husband. You see, I couldn't leave him before because I had no idea how I would survive on my own financially. And if I stay, I would be good financially, but dead inside. And how often we settle for good instead of going for great. I didn't want to have a good life. I want to have an extraordinary life. Life on my terms. So I made a decision to choose and create life that feels good. And to become a person that knows that wine and chocolate can be ways to enjoy and celebrate life, not to escape from it. I made a decision to be responsible, to act. But how about how often life gives us changes when we least expect it? A friend of mine, let's call her Jennifer, a blonde girl in her 40s, beautiful, 3 kids, happily married, 9 years, happy life, she thought, until her husband filed for divorce and asked her to get out of the house. You see, he bought the property before they get married, so legally that was his house. And Jennifer found herself in a tiny rental apartment, broke. With a broken heart. Jennifer is one example. I didn't want to end up like Jennifer. I had to educate myself about smart money decisions. Nobody taught me how. Nobody showed me how. Money decisions were always made for me. And it's amazing how a person can go 12 years of school, 4 years of college, and nowhere along the way they required a single class in personal finance. I needed knowledge, I needed confidence, I needed to be fully competent in personal finance so I can get out from that trap and leave my unhappy marriage. I took finance classes, I got my master's degrees, I got licensed and certified so I can help other women to be smart with their money, to start saving and even investing, and be ready, be prepared. Most of us know how to add and subtract, but not how to multiply our investments. They don't teach money subject in schools. Do you know that all 50 states of the United States offer sexual education, and only 5 made personal finance classes mandatory in schools? Personal finance classes. Such a massive life skill, and they don't teach it in schools. And we don't talk about money with our friends and our families, our parents, our children, and that's when we get in trouble. 90% of women have never sat down and talked about money with their spouses. Like, honey, if something happened to you tomorrow, do you have a financial plan for us? Do you have life insurance? Do you have trust? Do you have will? Whom should I call? And that made me question, why? Why are we not prepared? Why are we not informed? Women live longer than men, so we need more money for the retirement. Women are, right? Women are a sandwich generation between young kids and old parents. So if an old parent is sick, the female sibling is most likely to take the most of care. The divorce rate is between 40 and 50%, which is almost half of married couples in the United States divorce. Millions of women at some point of their lives will be solely responsible for managing their money. We're so good at giving, taking care of others. So why don't we take care of our money? Why we don't show the same amount of respect we show in every other relationship in our life? We put everyone first, family first, husband first. Yes, of course, it starts with a Cinderella story. This little girl learns from books about Prince Charming, who saves her. Well, in a marriage and happily ever after. You know the story. Prince Charming, to me, he's such a shallow guy. He saw a pretty girl, and he fell for looks. Did he ever have a chance to get to know her? What's your favorite book? What kind of coffee she likes in the morning? Prince Charming was designed to save a girl from distress. Let's forget about Prince Charming. Let's save ourselves. And don't get me wrong, everyone deserves happily ever after. Just let's not be a needy girl who needs to be saved. Let's be bold and adventurous, be responsible and independent, become a princess, Princess Charming. So when the right guy comes along and the time is right, you stay with him for pure love. If he treats you well and he makes you happy. They say if you raise a boy, you raise a son. And if you raise a daughter, you raise a nation. If we women pass on knowledge to the next generation, the principles, the morals, if we women pass on to our children the valuable cultural knowledge that shapes our ability to remember, to think, then how come we still live in a man's world? How come, despite all the advances women accomplished for the past 100 years, we still live in a man's world? Why we choose to stay fully, financially ignorant? It's time to take responsibility. Responsibility is self-sufficiency. So you're not anxious and dependent on other people. So you're not freaking out about money all the time. It's about taking care of yourself so you have a choice to walk away if you feel that it's not working for you. If you don't have a control, someone else has it. Men love talking about power and success and how money creates more power. And we women, we're not comfortable with this topic. So let's stop feeling ashamed talking about finance like it's something dirty and boring. Let's have fun talking about money and investments. Yes. But let's first get to the point that you are independent and responsible for your money. So, earn more, save more, learn about money and make sure that you have what you need. That's my definition of power. Knowing where and how much money and assets you have, where they are, what you can do with them, how you can grow them. That's the power. And let's stop avoiding talking about money. And let's talk about it honestly with our friends and families. And let's share financial information just like we share our tips on childcare or a new restaurant or a shoe sale. And let's educate those little girls about savings and investing. Let's give them power of financial knowledge, the power of money. Whoever has the gold makes the rules. I believe that great women with good money, we can do great changes. And together, we have the impact and power to make changes. School does not prepare kids for life. Ironically, movies, books, and the fairy tales do. Those little girls, they need more female role models out there. You female leaders, you need to be more visible. So those little girls, they need to see you. You need to see it in order to believe it. Usually in life, we either pay attention or pay with pain. So pay attention, get informed, and be prepared. And change is not scary. Staying the same is scary.